back to another exciting installment of Pinballs with the Master of Ceremonies. Tonight the Master of Ceremonies will be played by Hocus. Say hi to the fine people.
Ding ding ding! 3,000 points! 3,000 points! You've unlocked Hocus 7! What's up, guys?
Well, not a whole lot is up. I think, if memory serves, we're trying to... Yes. We've got a lone fisherman who just wants to see his kids again.
Oh man, a good old Tom Hanks heart-ripping story. I'm ready.
Oh, yes.
We got a pinball instead of a volleyball? Oh, this sounds great.
The music sounds exactly like I thought it would. Oh, this is beautiful. It's like a hillbilly train adventure, and I'm all here for it. This is the perfect setting for tonight's topic, Demoni 2. Or, as it's known in English, Demons 2. Now, the last time we spoke, we talked about the magic that is... Oops. The magic that is me not knowing how to play pinball. The magic that is Demons 1. Demons 2 is a very similar game, but at the same time completely different.
Okay.
Now, I believe you're familiar with Demons 1 from our previous installment. In Demons 2, we're set, again, in Italy, but very much a version of Italy that wants to be America. I don't know if it's necessarily trying to be America, so much as it's just so heavily influenced by American media. Like, if this is in some way just a statement on how influential American media was.
Okay, so they take like a American stereotypes, like the way we take like there's always like the French lady in the red dress with the what's the cigarette holder thing called? You know, the long like stick, that baton or whatever that they put the cigarette at. Like that's typically one of the images of a French lady or whatever. So
Yeah,
they do that to us.
I'm trying to think of the actual name, because yeah, it's like a smoke extender, but it's just so you don't get the smoke smell all over you. But yeah, like the idea that that's essentially the archetype of a snooty, rich socialite lady. Just that one holder, we sort of convey a whole lot just with that. And they do the same thing there. Now, Demons 2 is similar to Demons 1 in that, and I'm going to try my best not to talk about Devilman Crybaby. It's going to be really hard not to, because it's just, oh man. Instead, I'm going to talk about Total Eclipse of the Heart, which is what this movie was also heavily influenced by. In fact, I think Total Eclipse of the Heart's music video is the biggest influence on this film as a whole, but I'm getting ahead of myself, really. The magic of this film is that it has so many moving parts. Now, in Demons 1, we had essentially the moviegoers, the people at the movie theater. In Demons 2, we have a whole our town in this fancy apartment complex in Italy. We begin with a young couple. I'll just start with them in the order of not necessarily their appearance, but their relevance to the story when it begins. Because we open up with the classic gotcha of this guy with, you know, a meat cleaver's outfit, bloody knife, until we find out that he's making a birthday cake. That's the twist gotcha. Yeah, but again, no, that's just the brilliance that is Demoni 2 that we're in store for. So, playing with the notion of what is reality and what is a film, especially a film within a film, we start with what I call the Scooby Gang. The Scooby Gang are a team of people, young kids. It's unclear how old all these people are. It's very clearly one of those casting people in their late 20s, early 30s to play teenagers, so you can have the youth of a teenager but with the maturity of an adult. But let's call them the Scooby Gang. And the Scooby Gang hunt demons. They're like Ghostbusters, but for demons. So in this world, the events of Demons 1 have happened. People know that demons are a thing that happens. They're aware that there is a demon uprising or infection or outbreak prior.
So if
And,
you run into like a gas station and you're like, "There's demons," they'll be like, "Oh, okay, get the." They don't freak out and be like, "What are you talking about?" They'll.
pretty much, pretty much. I'm sorry, I just heard a phone, so I'm starting to realize maybe he's trying to call his wife, and she's his ex-wife, and she's just not picking up. Anyways, we begin with this Scooby gang who just are out looking for demons. Now, that's not what confused me the most. I could accept the idea that, like Ghostbusters 2, they've saved the city. It's very difficult to hide an entire movie theater being slaughtered by demons. That most of the people in the movie theater may or may not have turned into. So people are aware of the demons, and we've got these demon hunters out on their little adventure. But they find their demon, and somehow all the other people who live in this apartment complex, who will be featured throughout this film, are also watching this TV show about these kids who hunt demons. But while I did notice that there was one girl with a camera documenting things they found, I never once saw a single video camera on them. So I'm not sure if this is one of those, just maybe they didn't think. I think that just assuming they were lazy is too lazy of an interpretation for me, because there are certain metaphysical things that happen later that make me believe that the demonic is not only infernal but electronic. The kids stumble upon a talon. Like, they actually find a real demon talon. They know it's a talon.
Okay.
And one of them even observes the fact that their venom, or whatever they secrete that turns people into demons, goes through their talons. Or at least they know that's one of the things that it spreads through. So, they put it in a bag. Meanwhile, they just touched it with their bare hands. The talon that spreads...
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, the woman in a speed suit wants to tell me I've leveled up an upgrade. I still have no idea what any of this means. But no, so the kids find the demon talon. They put it in a bag. And they keep exploring this area. Now, there's different cuts in and out of different scenes, but I think it's best just to convey things sticking with them for now. For some reason, as they're exploring this abandoned garage construction site, it's unclear. I think it might actually be the wreckage of the movie theater that they're going to. But again, it just wasn't, maybe it wasn't established well, maybe I wasn't paying close enough attention. But they pass through this one hallway, and a bunch of pipes just emit this knockout gas.
Okay.
Yeah, so they get knocked out, they wake up, they're trying to find their way around. If I recall, again, maybe I just missed it, but I don't think they quite followed through on who installed the pipes, who filled it with the knockout gas, how many other people have been taken out with the knockout gas before.
Do they call it knockout gas in the movie?
No, if I remember, they don't. They just kind of go, "Oh wow, what was that?" and they keep going. But keep in mind, this is a dub, so the acting is what you would expect of a dub. Not to talk about Devilman Crybaby, but okay, fine. Yeah, the pinball. Oh, Hocus, you missed this part. You get to shoot water skiers.
No
He
way.
takes out all of his pent-up frustrations about the judicial system being heavily biased against him.
This deserves its own, movie.
Oh, I'll find one. 9 boats sunk. That'll teach them to come to this lake.
I like how celebratory the lights feel after the carnage.
Oh, and the music is just festive. I'm loving it. I feel like I'm having a grand old time. But no, so I'm assuming upon later reflection that the reason why the kids were knocked out by the knockout gas, the reason for all of the crazy contraptions and traps, was because they were trying to make sure what happens next didn't happen. One of the chicks in the group cuts her hand on some kind of
Single-player results.
barbed wire or maybe a stray piece of metal. It's not clear. I was terrified the whole time that, like, oh, she's going to turn into a demon. And this is where I think Damani's power really shines and how it plays with the expectations. Because when you're a sequel, they're coming in with expectations, the audience. And how do you prey upon and play upon those expectations? We expect her to turn into a demon because she's been cut, we've established the talon, the poison, etc. What happens instead is that they find the corpse of a demon. They find the corpse of a demon just laying in the dirt, and when they take a picture for posterity, again, while everyone else at home is watching this on television for whatever reason, because even if it isn't something fake or magical, as I'm about to, guess, it does make me wonder, like, wouldn't anyone wonder why this strange CCTV show is just appearing on my TV for some reason now? But
Oh, this sounds like an old BBC show where, like, people are, they just don't question who's broadcasting. Where'd my somebody starts projecting stuff on their TV and they all sit down and they watch it without question.
Yeah, a lot of things happen with nobody questioning it, honestly. So the Scooby Gang gets murdered because the blood on her hands wakes up the demon, and the demon attacks all of them. Now I'm going to pause on the Scooby Gang because I've skipped ahead on people. I want to tell you about the people living in this apartment. There's a whole lot of setup because as soon as the demons start happening, there's not going to be a lot of plot left.
Single-player results.
So the so let's begin with the easiest ones to cover. We've got our main characters. We've got the young couple. That's like our heroes of the story. We've also got, and this is like you're young. I want to say he's trying to become a doctor. He's studying for some kind of test, and his pregnant wife is the one who helps him, get through the studying section.
All right.
You've got the people who I've dubbed the McSnoots.
Hang on, wait, real quick. Is that what French people think of Americans? That wives and husbands help each other study for college?
Yeah, that was the thing. I was like, wow, this movie has a very wholesome message that you would not expect from American cinema that typically seems to want you to not be in a loving, supportive relationship. But the McSnoots are an older family, and they have a pet dog. That's about all that's relevant about them for the time being. So then we have a boy that I'm going to call Bright Eyes. Bright Eyes is having a night by himself while his parents are out on the town. Just having, a date night.
All right.
Yeah. And then the main focus of the story is the party. Now, the party, which I think definitely missed a key moment that it could have had, is like, it's an 80s party, but it's like an 80s party that wants you to know it's an 80s party to the point that it looks like the way people would dress when they go to an 80s party today.
I got you.
Yeah, lots of shoulder pads. It seems like these youths are having a good time. Again, most of them somewhere in their mid to late 20s, but it's unclear what their actual age is. They're having their dance party, listening to their 80s music.
Okay.
And the one of the guys, the quiet, skinny Zuckerberg nerd type, turns around and he gets a phone call and tells the main girl, birthday girl, that his friend is coming over. I'm guessing that she and this guy have some history because she immediately wigs out. And I mean, like, completely insane wigs out. No focus on reality whatsoever. She is just gone. She shouts, "Everyone has to leave right now. Everyone leave my party." And then after she says everyone out, she immediately runs to her room, shuts the door. And they just get back to partying?
Yeah,
Clearly
if
this
stayed
happens.
there shouting, maybe a different result, but
Yeah, clearly this happens a lot with this chick. And even one of her friends then consoles the nerdy guy and says, "Okay, hey, go find the guy, stop him, just prevent this from happening." You can fix it. She's the sane friend who usually is probably used to cleaning up this crazy chick's messes. So, crazy chick goes into her room, and she starts watching the Scooby-Doo gang and their adventures. So is Bright Eyes, so are the McSnoots.
Okay.
I also forgot the people working out in the gym, because there's a gym in the basement. I forgot about the gym because we're introduced to them very early on, and it's just... And again, not to talk about Devilman Crybaby, but it just opens up with a bunch of sweaty, muscular dudes pumping iron. And then we just cut away to the Scooby Gang, to the actual plot of the movie. But the gym workout dudes will become relevant later. So all of these people are watching this same movie, the Scooby Gang getting murdered. The demon kills everyone. And then after it kills the last of the Scooby Gang, it turns and faces the camera that doesn't exist. And now this is the thing, before the Scooby Gang was murdered, the chick who got scratched sees her reflection and sees a demonic version of herself. So I'm thinking, okay, foreshadowing, she's going to become a demon or something like that. But I'm starting to think now that's the implication that the demons are in some ways tied to electromagnetism, electricity, and light without ever actually explaining that. That somehow the reflection of light, the traveling electricity current, something about this just makes them able to travel. Because he starts walking towards the TV screen. Like he starts walking toward the camera that doesn't exist because it's like he sees Crazy Girl. Ooh. And he starts coming through the TV. But not like Ringu going through the TV, like really bad CGI stretching the static out, like Terminator 2 made out of static.
Okay.
And she runs. She's terrified of this. She thinks that she's, in a room trapped with a zombie.
The room she closed herself into after she told everyone to leave the party and nobody left.
Yes, and somehow the door is locked and she can't get out. Yeah. So, again, it's...
Single-player results.
This is definitely a movie that you just sit down and enjoy the ride with. But she thinks she's safe because there's no demon, she can't get out, but it seems like everything's relatively normal, and she's like, okay, I was just silly. And I think she yells at the television because, of course, she can't admit that she just overreacted or maybe hallucinated. It has to be the television's fault. But then right as she thinks everything's okay, she turns around, the demon's just standing there in the room right behind her and attacks her. Just boom.
I mean, that's some equality and justice right there, like a good opportunity. I'm going to give points to the TV stalker. I'm going to give points to the I assume is one of the demoni that got her from the TV.
Oh, yes, actually, the original Damani that the Scooby Gang wakes up is the one that infects her. But now that she's been infectulated, he no longer has to do anything. It seems like our crazy 80s chick is going to be the empowered black woman from the first Damani.
Okay.
She, now there's some more stuff that happens in between. We have different... various plot elements, like, Bright Eyes' parents at one point are concerned about him and want to call a check on him. I'm gonna gloss over those minor plot points until they become relevant.
To change your underwear every day.
It's funny. It's comedically close to that level of concern.
I'm starting to feel like I need to go watch this movie where the French stereotype us.
Oh yeah, I mean it's Italian, but I definitely got a moment or two in that film where it's just like, ho, you Americans, you do not know the difference between an Italian accent and a French accent. I can do whatever I want.
Oh my goodness! Wait a minute. No, there's definitely a difference.
I don't know. I think that was a pretty.
Are they the same?
I think that was a pretty good impersonation of the Pope.
Oh my goodness! But there's French popes also.
There are?
Yeah, popes aren't always Italian.
Hey, wow.
From other places.
Wow, that's... Finding out the Pope isn't Italian is like when you go to get candy and it's not name brand. It's like, who the fuck do you think you're kidding? Dots? I wanted a Hershey's.
You go and you find out that the guy from Jack in the Box isn't white.
Oh, that's fine.
He's wearing that's white. He's the color white.
I mean, but it's like white clown makeup. Like, I don't know. I don't feel like now if Colonel Sanders was made black, I might get a little pissed because like they've already got Popeyes, and Popeyes is already better. Like
Yeah, I was gonna say it's definitely not a step down.
yeah, leave the Colonel alone. He's dead. Let him rest in peace.
The Colonel's for people who don't like flavor. It's okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that is true, honestly. Popeyes is a superior chicken. But no, so let's get back to our party goers because we're about to get to the celebratory moment. So, crazy chick comes out of her bedroom and they start singing the happy birthday song, but you know, like a public domain version of it, like happy birthday, public domain birthday, happy birthday, birthday cake. And they've just got this cake out for her. Now the thing is, I'm thinking like with all the 80s movies they're referencing and all the shit they're about to start referencing later, the cake only has 14 candles on it. Now I know there's no way this bitch is only 14, but I really think that they missed out on something by not making it 16 candles.
Oh, good catch.
I mean,
Good
really,
catch.
like I haven't even seen the movie and I know that reference.
And maybe she's just a stereotypical broken family girl from America who can't afford the extra candles.
Maybe.
They have to
Player
put a
results.
disclosure at the beginning of the movie. The girl is not 14. In this consensual scene, we just couldn't get enough candles for the cake scene.
I mean, I want to stress this, that like as much as I'm laughing, there are a lot of things that this movie does phenomenally well. And I think part of it is the way that they play on expectations and archetypes and tropes. They do rug pulls in ways that people today wish they could. So, crazy chick comes out of her room, and she just starts doing that weird demonic thing where like demons are just now freshly in a human body and they're smelling fire and touching gravel and eating dirt just because they like feeling anything. Uh-oh. Are we gonna have to... Oh, I thought we were gonna... I promised him we wouldn't have to kill again, you guys.
Only a little bit. If you close your eyes, does it count?
Maybe.
I mean, you can't confirm the kill with your eyes closed?
So well, you know who does have her eyes closed? The chick who's just smelling the fuck out of this fire.
Yeah.
And then she starts growing talons out of her hand into the table, and everyone's just sitting there watching this. They're just
Wait. Her hand doesn't become a talon? It comes out like from her palm, a talon comes out? Oh, that's extra freaky.
Yeah.
That's not like werewolf transformation. That's...
Oh, yeah, this is like mid-80s doing the kind of shit that we see in Resident Evil and Parasite Eve today, where the demon isn't just you shape-shifting, it's like the demon is almost birthed out of you, like it sheds you as a skin and then replaces you. Later on, there's going to be some segments where there's a dog that literally, like,
You
yeah,
have
well,
leveled
I'm getting ahead of
up and
myself.
upgraded this table.
So she turns into a demon, and long story short, she ostensibly kills everyone there. I don't want to spoil that, but I guess prefacing it with ostensibly kind of did. And after she's completed this, after her murder rampage is complete, she goes into the middle of the apartment and just starts screaming and bleeding everywhere. Blood just starts oozing out of every crack in her skin, every orifice. I'm really thankful for this. I think it was a very tasteful decision of theirs. The camera is like stuck right up between her legs, and we see like a downward shot of her legs and her dress, and the blood's just running down her legs. Not once does it come out from between her dress. And I was very happy they didn't do that.
So it's like they're showing that it's coming from the upper body.
Yeah, it was really making me think the blood was gonna... Now, if it was an American movie, yeah, probably. But, this is a fancy European art film. So, the blood starts to melt through the floor. Like a xenomorph. And it starts going through every single apartment that we have been introduced to, because every single person in this apartment complex that we have been introduced to so far is vertically adjacent to the one before, essentially. So the McSnoots, Bright Eyes, the gym, the married couple, there's just stuff everywhere. Various employees of there's a security guard, a concierge, I guess maybe a server guy who takes care of the internet, who touches the blood, they get burns. We have.
I feel like so. I imagine that like somebody alive at the bottom of this, like after it all melts through, looks up through the holes, all the floors of this building up to the skylight, and it's like, oh my god! And then there's a voice that's like, "New French monster. If it can do this to concrete, imagine what it'll do to your awakeness levels."
Oh,
French
Hocus,
monster.
Hocus, I'm the French monster now. Look at this.
Get off my lake!
Not on my lake.
I don't need you listening to your boombox, playing your sex games, and having your drug parties. I just have to catch my fish. I don't want to do this. You made me do it.
Wow, good hits. You got it up there twice.
I don't know. I have no idea whether I'm... See, half the time I feel like I'm doing well, and half the time I just fumble it like that, and I'm like, God, I suck at this. Is this pinball? I think that's the essence of pinball, really. But no, so the blood just starts to travel through the entire apartment complex. And
Single player results.
pretty much everyone dies. Like, the dog gets it, turns into this weird... The McSnoots dog. Sorry, there's so many moving parts. The McSnoots dog turns into some weird Beetlejuice flesh monster that then attacks the McSnoots and kills them. And then the McSnoots are turned into zombie demons. There's... Bright Eyes. He feels like he's gonna escape for a while, and I call him Bright Eyes, the kid, because as soon as the party girl has turned everyone into demons, what begins is a gigantic Total Eclipse of the Heart music video. I'm telling you, there's even a scene where all these 80s kids wearing their 80s kid, 80s themed party clothing run down hallways, or like they'll be seen in dark rooms, and their eyes will glow, and they specifically chose to make their eyes glow white, just like the people in the music video. It's dead on. Like, I can't tell if it's, plagiarism or parody or homage.
They've never seen the video. It's parallel creation.
Yeah, it's. I mean, maybe, but I think they knew exactly what they were doing.
That's one of my favorite things. It's when someone's like, "Oh, I came up with that at the same time." Can't you just say "good job"?
I'm so proud for you for doing that thing that I did.
Single player results.
Oh man, I'm sorry, Hocus, I got derailed. Much like, honestly, I got derailed a lot trying to follow this movie. It's phenomenal. Like, don't think for a second that what I'm saying should detract you and tell you to not go see it.
Oh, no,
Go
I'm
out
only
and see
more
it immediately.
interested. I'm only more interested.
Oh, it's phenomenal. So, the Total Eclipse of the Heart music video is going. The gym goers get infected because, again, they're in the basement. The blood actually drips down, and this was one of the most... In a film that involves so many people just being mutilated and torn apart, for some reason the guy stuck in the sauna who couldn't move, just had his head sticking out of one of those sweat boxes. He's the one that the blood falls on in the gym, in the workout area, and I was just like, oh god, imagine that. Just, you can't even wipe it off, you're just completely restrained. It's like your head is buried and the ants are coming for you. But yeah, the gym goers fight off the demons. The demons, one of the demons actually crushes a muscle boy inside of a butterfly press machine. But fortunately, the workout leader takes command, leads them to victory. At this point, our hero who was studying for his test went to go get a piece of birthday cake for his wife earlier. As you can tell from what's happened, that didn't go according to plan. Fortunately, he's stuck in the elevator, and he gets stuck in the elevator for a good deal of this. In fact, demons run past, and they call for help. And nobody just stops and thinks, maybe we shouldn't be drawing their attention towards us. At any rate,
Nobody does the classic Jurassic Park. If we don't move, they won't see us.
The funny thing is there actually is a moment, and I don't want to ruin it, but there is a moment where I kind of go, wait, is their vision based on movement? Spoiler alert, it's not. But the, God, just see, the problem is so much carnage happens that it's very difficult to keep track of all of it. So...
We were at the dude in the sauna. His head's the only thing sticking out of the sweat box, and the blood was dripping. The xenomorph, demoni blood or whatever was dripping down through the floors onto him.
Oh yeah. So honestly, let's just cover the. So pregnant wife is staying there in the apartment right now, waiting for him to come back with her cake. The McSnoots. Let's just say the McSnoots are dead by this point. Because that's about how relevant. Like they're just there to be bodies at this point. Our main hero, our protagonist, he is trapped in the elevator with another crazy tenant, and unfortunately, she gets turned into a demon, and he has to literally climb up an elevator shaft to escape her. Meanwhile, Bright Eyes gets turned too. And he can, out of all the demons, he can do that Evil Dead thing where he pretends to be a normal boy again and gets the pregnant woman to try and open the door for him. But then he turns a bit too soon and she fights him off. It seems like she's going to fight. It seems like she's going to have this weird fight with a metaphor for like her being so happy and excited for her new child. But hey, here's toddlers right around the corner. But then out of nowhere, the toddler falls down and has a chest buster demon come out of him. So it's a different kind of birth metaphor, I guess.
And the other ones came to be in a different form, right? I mean, the girl who locked herself in the room earlier, the demon came out of her, like ripped out from her palms.
Yes.
Like its hands came out of her palms. I assume we didn't see where the rest of it came out from.
No. This was like a Frieza Form 2 type of demon. Like, the kid was already green-skinned and gnarly like all the other demons. He just happened to have an extra little demon jack-in-the-box just popping out of him. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I wouldn't have expected that. That definitely, you were saying that this movie has these, like, twists, and it's just like, you were not ready for that to happen. Yeah, I wouldn't have been ready for the demon to have a demon inside it. Yeah.
And so when the little demon thing attacks, pregnant wife handles it masterfully. We know she's going to be a good mother. However, she does seem to get scratched by the little demon in that altercation, which does lead us to have some concerns. How long does she have left? Meanwhile, Nerdy Boy is out and about, and he finds ex-boyfriend of Crazy Chick. Now, you might be thinking that I didn't talk about these characters because they became irrelevant until now. And that's half a lie. They're still not going to be relevant. But they get into a car crash, and, I believe that Bright Eyes' parents are having dinner across the street from where the car crash happens. And as much as they're trying to make this film seem like it was shot in America, the ambulance that shows up is very Italian. It even has the wee-woo, wee-woo, wee-woo. Like, they don't even try to make it look like an American ambulance in the slightest. No effort. But I guess in the midst of the carnage, I'm just going to skip ahead to the carnage because I don't want to spoil every last tidbit of this film. I think that people should go out and watch it. Don't interpret any of my snark for it being a bad film. I'm going to make you watch it one day. I promise that.
I'm ready. I am ready.
Be ready.
I will prepare. I will make pigs in the blanket. And we'll make a basket of them, and we'll fucking sit down, and we'll storm through some great movies.
Let's see. So they do things that you would think would fight demons, and none of it works. They barricade themselves in the garage to make a final last stand, and this is all the weightlifters and the jocks the survivors.
Can I ask which? do they try some of the classic tropes? Like, did they try some of the vampire tropes? Stake through the heart, a cross, garlic, holy water. Do they try any of those against the demons?
Shotgun to the head.
I mean, most movies and stuff, most lore that works on most things.
They also, I don't think it was a wooden stake. I think it was more like a metal fence post through the sternum, which I guess is technically the heart. That also doesn't work, though. It does blind her, though.
The metal rod through the sternum blinds the...
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's what blinded her, but that's the main, like, damaging wound they inflict on her. And then when she comes back after, it's like, oh, you thought I was dead. No, I'm back again, assholes. No, she's just blind for some reason.
Okay. Well, I don't want to ask too many questions. That definitely left some food for thought about how we can interact with the demonic.
I'm glad that you don't want to ask a lot of questions, because I feel like that's exactly how the writers felt when they made it.
Where do babies come from? The baby factory. Oh,
babies chest bust out of bigger babies, and then they try to attack you. And that's the thing. So we finally come to this one place where there's a big room that I guess is security for the security for the apartment complex. It's all these televisions that seem to have cameras everywhere showing all the people who were depicted in this. So there's some kind of jigsaw type figure still in the background who orchestrated all of this, but we just don't really, it's not very clear. They kill her, and pregnant woman starts having her contractions, and this is after all the other demon zombies have died because they light a fire to blockade them in, and the demons just start tumbling out of it like Romanian gymnasts. Like, it's impeccable, the form that these demons have. They're like graceful. I wanted to give it a 10 out of 10.
Is there some like classical music to play?
Yeah, I mean, it also, just watching this film, you'll find out very quickly that Italians in the 80s were in much better shape than people are today, with the physical feats that they perform that I guess are just normal, believable things that you would expect for someone studying for the MCAT.
So, I don't know what the obesity factors were in the 80s. I imagine they're worse now, but so their interpretation of us is that we were graceful and could jump through fire while doing ballet?
Oh yes, everyone is in impeccable fitness.
I am honored. I don't think I've ever been able to do any of those. Jump through fire, ballet.
Yeah, I mean, this was the 80s, though. It didn't really pick up with the obesity stuff until the 90s. But yeah, they just tumble out. But this was the one twist that really got me, and not to ruin it, but I guess I will ruin it. You really think that pregnant woman, because she got attacked by the demon, is going to give birth to a demon baby, because she keeps talking about the pain and how she's feeling these deep pains, and it's like, oh, I bet that's not labor pain. She doesn't look that pregnant.
All right.
Fortunately, it's not a demon, and the final twist is that we have a lovely, beautiful baby born into this world, and then they walk out into the sunset while the most 80s soundtrack you could ever imagine plays.
Just to punctuate what time era this happened in.
Yeah, I mean, I wanna sing a part of the song, but I also don't want to get sued for licensing issues. But they belong to the city.
Oh.
They belong to the night.
All right, I can see it. Yeah. Wow, I am excited to see this, and I'm curious how many movies I'm gonna see, or I'm going to recall having seen that were made after this movie that totally stole from me.
I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, I can't even tell, is it stealing? Or is it homage? Is it just influence? It's I don't think that at any point they assumed that we wouldn't know what they were referencing. It seems like they made it
Single player results.
thinking that we would know.
Right.
I don't
right.
think they were trying to pass it off as their original ideas.
Okay. Okay.
And so it feels more like an homage or someone being like, "Oh, you Americans like you like Total Eclipse of the Heart, right? Let's make an entire demon movie that's Total Eclipse of the Heart. How can it go wrong?" I still can't do an Italian accent.
Oh, don't worry. Just Super Mario.
You Americans, you love the horror movies, and you love the Bonnie Tyler.
Perfect.
You love the Total Eclipse of the Heart, turning around the bright eyes.
This channel stands with our Italian X fans. I'm sorry, X-Talian.
X-Stallion. I like that. It brings in Rocky to it a little bit. The fighting stallion. You know, like okay.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be too upset about that. X-Stallions. It's
Exactly.
better than Latino X. That feels like Latino X to me sounds like part of the LGBT. Like.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it's all part of the same game, really.
Oh Lord.
Oh, well, I don't know. I feel like there's not much more to talk about. I probably could talk about this for hours. There's probably wonderful things that I'm missing. But, you know, honestly, just go out, check it out. Damani 2, Demons 2, wherever demons or demon-adjacent films are sold.
Good luck, y'all. Remember to not sign contracts verbally.
That's true. And as always, pin those balls.